So welcome to a 43-minute speedrun of Bard's Tale 1, the original PC version. We're going to begin by rolling a Hobbit Bard right off the bat. And then we're going to roll a half-elf magician. And the reason for this is we want our little bard to basically have the fire horn from the default characters the game creates. That lets us go get a bunch of XP and gold and the magician curse / blessing really quickly. So I haven't figured out a faster or better way to do it, I think, at this point. I get a really good roll on my, I get basically a perfect roll on my half-elf magician there. So we take the default El Cid, give the fire horn to the bard, equip it, and we enter the town, and immediately we go and try to find some magicians, and we kill stuff that we're forced to kill. And otherwise, yeah, we're just looking for these magicians. We're going to defend. They're going to cast their spell. We're going to run away. And then dump all the gold into our magician, dump the bard, and immediately we're going to go kill 2 samurai and get level 2 as a magician. Once we have level 2 as a magician, we're immediately going to go do 2 rounds of ogres and bump up to level 7 as a magician. The thought here is that we can get like 6 magician levels that are really fast. Like we'll be level 7. We'll be a level 7 magician here before 3 minutes, which is really nice. And then we can double our gold to have essentially infinite gold. Change our class, get our pay for all our magician spells. Change class to conjurer, and now we'll be a level 1 conjurer with infinite gold, and that really lets us level very quickly. Anyway, farming Ogre Lords is possible because our little stone elemental here, when you have just one hero, like we just have one magician rain here, and when you have just one magician or one hero and then someone in the special slot, which is where the stone elemental is, the stone elemental gets hit like there's a the critters have a preference for attacking the entity in the special slot by like 3 out of 4 times they're going to attack him, which basically lets that guy tank all the damage, and we can kill bigger things to some degree. Anyway, right here we're going to go back and forth exploiting a gold doubling bug. The thought is that when you select your hero in the shop, you can then hit any of the other number keys. In this case, I hit number 6, and I've got this sort of like, I don't know, it's a memory overload, or there's probably some phrase for it, but basically it's trying to load up a hero that isn't in your party, and it defaults to kind of like to cloning your number 1, whoever's in your number 1 slot. So basically there's a ghost of you that you can access in the shop, and it has all your items and all your gold, and you just transfer your golden items to yourself in the shop, and you go back to your guild and remove yourself and stick yourself back in, reset your ghost, go back to the shop, transfer the ghost items to yourself, go back to the guild, remove yourself, re-add yourself, and you kind of repeat this cycle over and over again until you have all the golden items that you want. Typically you need about at least 500,000 gold. And what ends up happening is you end up having like 450,000 gold, and then you like double it to 900,000 or 800,000. And so here I end up with about 600,000 gold, and that's good enough. And now we're off to try to level as fast as possible. We immediately go and we get level 4 magician spell changed into a conjurer, and then we're going to go do ogres till we hit level 8, I believe, as a conjurer. And then, as it turns out, if you have infinite gold, it's actually the Farming Ogre Lords is about 17,000 experience per minute. Just kind of going back and forth here between Catacombs, Overlord, Catacombs, Overlord. And it averages out to about 17,000 experience per minute. You can kill the whites, which are like, there's like 9 whites at the base of the Catacombs. And if you can, if your stats are good enough, you can pretty much get a first strike. And they're worth about, it's about 9,500 or 10,000 XP per round. And you ends up being at about 25,000 XP per minute. It's significantly faster than ogres. It's a little more dangerous, but you can manage that risk. And it's also, but once you hit Wizard 1, you go from Wizard 1 to Wizard 4, it's also very, very fast. It beats ogres substantially. And that really, between the gold doubling and the whites, you're able to shave off a lot of time. I say a lot, several minutes. One of the critical aspects of being able to farm whites is you have to have high dexterity, so that you get a first strike, or at least as early a strike as possible. And then you want high luck so that as few of the whites repel your spell or get half damage as possible. And typically, 18 is what you're hoping and targeting for. 17 is probably okay. I go back here. I realize I need to buy staff and robes. Probably should have done that right when after I doubled my gold, but and we lost a little, maybe lost 30 seconds from that. So here I am, level 8 conjurer, or 7 at least. So we're just gonna go farm whites here. It's pretty effective. The reason I haven't done this in prior speedruns is that um, you're gonna get withered. Like, it's just basically guaranteed. Almost 75% of the time, 80% of the time, you're gonna get hit by these whites. And to heal this old/wither effect is very, very expensive. And it slows things down if you don't have infinite gold. So the fact that you have infinite gold lets you go and do this over and over again. There's also some ghouls that you could maybe, if you were big enough, do also. But I'm kind of content, I think, with just the whites. Typically because you need your stone elemental. Like, he's definitely a meat shield that is very much needed. And if you just do whites and then do ghouls, you're going to be fighting ghouls without a meat shield, and that's unwise at the early levels. Um, we just kind of go back and forth, not really exciting. Here I actually went into the wrong room, triggered a different fight, but it actually worked out well because these things were like, it was good XP, I think. I know it's time efficient. It wasn't completely wasted time, is probably a better way of phrasing it. And I got a mithril plate out of that. I was actually quite pleased. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day because you possess your little underlings, and they're literally a meat shield. Their armor class is not going to be enough so that it really matters in the last fight. But it's a nice little object to stick on them. It helps if any of them actually survive the demon and vampire lords, and the wraiths and ghouls are less likely to hit them. But for the most part, you just don't need anything on your little guys. They're just 100 hit point meat shields. Um, I do spend, and I guess that's one, this is also sort of a retrospective view on my efficiency here, but I do end up getting a lot of different, I spend a fair amount of time in my inventory and dumping inventory and looking at inventory. I've probably, guessing I probably have close to a minute of inefficiency so far. About 10% inefficient. 100% efficiency is impossible. Like just mentally, it's incredibly taxing. 'Cause I mean, this is like my 23rd speed run of the day or something like that, right? So I mean, not quite that many, but um, in some ways, there's a mental challenge of high efficiency actions here too. I was hoping in some of my other failed runs, you can get mithril scale and mithril gloves, one or both of which actually help a lot. Um, there may be other, uh, if you can get your wizard to like -6 AC early on, um, maybe there's some other additional options for fast power leveling. Um, but it requires some very early item drops. Uh, Hey, once you hit 120,000 XP, you're going to be a level 11 as a conjurer. At that point, um, it's just faster to go walk to get um, your next level. The race are like 25k XP per minute. So if you it takes so in 2 minutes it's about 50k XP. Um, to walk down into the catacombs and all the way back and be ready for your next round is takes about 2 minutes also. Um, so actually, I'm look up something here real quick while I'm narrating. Yeah, so the gap between level 11 and level 12 as a magician and conjurer is 50,000 KXP. So in theory, it's a dead even whether you do whites or whether you do uh, specters is approximately the same. But if you're fast, whites have a can slow you down for various reasons. You can get slowed down in the catacombs too, but I'm just kind of biased to um, hit level 11 and just let's walk the catacombs and get the last 2 levels on the Specter. For sure, it's 60,000 from 12 to 13 as a conjurer magician is a 60,000 KXP difference, and it's absolutely certain that you're going to go. You can you can walk the catacombs up and down faster than you'll be able to get XP from the whites that way. So. Um, Yeah, that's what we do. We're gonna get we got level 12. Now we're gonna get level 13 as a conjurer, and then we're gonna jump to our wizard adventures. Anyway, like I said, there may be, if you get some good item drops, maybe there's some way to shave off, 30 seconds or something here, but um, I haven't been able to find any real good, clear um, options to get a lot of XP. I mean, one thing I've been looking hard at is there's like 72 whites here on Catacombs 3, and that, or 69 whites, 63 whites, something like that. Anyway, it ends up being like 75,000 experience if you wipe out everything. The problem is that if you cast Dragon Breath, you're going to cull 2/3 of them, but the remaining 2/3 of whites are going to eat through your entire hit points, and there's nothing you can do about it. Which means you need additional people to help burst them down, like bards with fire horns. But the bards with fire horns, they get a proportional share of the experience, reducing the total amount. So there's not maybe there's ways to like make your bards die before all the whites are dead. I don't know. there may be some ways to exploit that. I just haven't. Um, Nothing seems really easier or consistent, or actually even much faster. I mean, you still have to pay the penalty of getting your guys, going down there, going back, repeating over and over again. So anyway, here's where we're at. We're a wizard now. We're a level 1 wizard. And Repel Dead is a really strong spell against these whites. So we're basically just going to farm out whites for all the way up to level 4, which is like 80,000 experience. Maybe I even go to 5 at 120,000. Because now that I have a Porticane, it's about a minute 15 seconds to go up and down to get a level. So any time my level is uh, more than about 30,000 experience, it's just faster to a Porticane. The challenge is that a wizard at level 4 and level 5 is really vulnerable. He can fail his fleas even with 18 luck. He'll fail fleas in the Catacomb very easily, and when that happens, he likely dies. So at some level, it's probably faster to farm whites to 50,000 experience and then take your next, go from 3 to 4 on the Specter, but like making that saving throw is just very, very difficult. I say it's not very difficult. It's we're 16 minutes into the game and I want to keep going, and I'm not, for quality of life purposes, saving 15 seconds um, it's just not worth it. I'd rather just, spend 15 more seconds and continue the run and not risk an unfortunate death. And this stuff's pretty fast. With Repel Dead, I mean, it's probably closer to 30k experience per minute anyway. So, see, we started that one right at 17. Let's see how fast I can get through it. So 10 seconds to kill them. 15 seconds, I'm out. So in 30 seconds, I've gotten 18,000 experience. So yeah, it's good. I think the right approach really is level 4 as a wizard here. So you can do, it looks like a good 3 solid rounds. 9 times 3 is 27. So it's closer to 30k as a wizard, just because your Repel Dead is really strong. Yeah, I'll be out of here by. So yeah, in exactly 1 minute, I've done 3 rounds of whites for almost 30,000 experience points. So this is definitely better than walking down cats for at least up to level 4 wizard. Do I do another level here? I don't know what I do. Maybe I do go to level 5 or even 6. No, I just do one more, I guess. Okay, well, that makes sense. To me at least. Anyway, now we're in the catacombs again. I think we make all our fleas here. And this part's kind of just boring. We go play with the Specter here. When he hits us, we lose a level. We heal it and then can gain it 2 levels by first healing and then advancing at the guild, or at the academy, I guess. This part is kind of boring. Not a whole lot to do or to talk about. Anyway, the goal is to get to wizard level 11 at the end of the day. There you can summon your own Specter, fight it, and it whacks you once, and then you make it go away, and then you get a level. there isn't anything faster that I've been able to figure out in terms of, it's a minute and a half, or sorry, minute 15 seconds on average to get a level through teleporting in the catacombs. And, um, if you're going from level 5 to 6 as a wizard, that's 40,000 experience. 7 to 8 is 50 grand. So you're basically getting close to 50k XP per minute. And I don't know where else in the game you get anything better. I literally don't think there is. And then from like wizard level 9 to 10 and 10 to 11, that's 100,000 and then 200,000 experience points respectively. And there's nothing in the game that I'm aware of, not even the 400 barbarians that gives you experience quite like that. So I think this process here is as fast as it gets. Um, I gave some thought to go. There's an item in the game called Soul Blade or Soul Mace or something along those lines. There's a Morn Blade. Anyway, there's two items in the game that will let you. Your party can actually attack you and it'll drain a level. The problem is both those items come like late in the game, and the amount of time and effort that it takes to get those items is not materially different from the time it takes to beat the game, so such that there's not um, trying to optimize your route to get those items. It's just faster to just try to beat the game instead of trying to get the items. Um, I'm still exploring that route a little bit. There may be some possibilities there, but just you've got to at least get to Harkins or even Mangar to find those items. And at that point, it's like, if you're strong enough to go there, you're probably strong enough to beat the game, or at least have a good shot at beating the game. So, um, anyway, at this point, like you're always going to make your fleas. The Specter can't hurt you. It's pretty much a mechanical, not a lot of decision making from here on out. Well, for the next several minutes at least. But we're at 22 minutes, and I think our wizard is what, level 8 or 9 now? Maybe 10? There's probably been maybe 2 minutes of inefficiency. So I was actually quite pleased at this point. Um, let's see if we can see what level I am. I know I check it at least once or twice. Level 9, okay. So I've got 2 more rounds of Specters to do to get 10, then 11. I've given some thought also to potentially just skipping Wizard. I don't think it can be done though, but just for those who care, you got to have at least 2. You have to have so many levels and at least 2 classes to enter into the Wizard state. But once you hit level 11 as Wizard, like you can get the next 19 levels, which are really important, and you can get them basically faster than any other way in the game by a substantial margin, such that maybe it's a huge advantage, and it's such a huge advantage that I haven't been able to figure out a different course that would um, let you level faster, or at least get you to level, the high 20s or at least 30. If not 30, at least the high 20s faster. Potentially, you might maybe be able to just do a conjure straight up, but the conjure is going to be, you're still going to be a minute 15 seconds per level for 19 levels, which is a good 23, 24 minutes. Um, and then you've got disadvantages on top of that. You're not getting as many levels in total, right? You're a level 30 wizard also has 13 levels as a conjurer and 7 levels as a magician, so he's like roughly level 50. But a level 30 conjurer would just be literally level 30, and he'd be missing at least 100 hit points or something like that, um, which in this speedrun at least would have been fatal. But I mean, hey, it's a speedrun, right? So you want to do it fast. It is a way. It's a low quality of life. And if I do the math, I'm not sure it's appreciably faster. Meaning that even if you wanted to um, save a lot of time, you may still be better off, taking your wizard at a lower level than taking your conjurer at level 30. Um, I never actually go visit the guild, so it turned to night before I uh, ended up going back. But now we're level 11. Um, well, I guess we're higher than level 11 now. We're 13 or 14. Anyway, we summon a little Specter here. We try to whack him once and we can't because his AC is too low, and then he turns aggressive on us and he'll hit us. Um, we have to kill him because he'll fight you to the death, and he hits really hard and you'll die. So you actually just create a wolf instead, and it replaces him. You will always succeed in casting the wolf, and it's the cheapest spell basically that will always succeed in making the Specter go away. Um, and you just repeat, you summon the Specter and get whacked, cast your wolf, heal up, level up, repeat ad nauseum. Um, so it's 27:35 when I got the last level. Let's see how long it takes. So 35 seconds to about 54 seconds. So it's about 20 seconds per level, 3 levels a minute. Um, that's hard to beat. I mean, not even ogres are at level 1. That's a fast time. I kind of felt like I got an excessive number of liches in this process, but at the end of the day, even if I did, it only cost me maybe a minute of time. I think I kind of feel like by this point I'm maybe down 2.5, possibly 3 minutes if I had just done everything perfectly efficiently. But my efficiency overall, I mean, it's actually pretty good. I was quite pleased with it. But it adds up, and 5 seconds here, 2 seconds there, and before you know it, you've got several minutes of time lost. Yeah, I wish I had something else to tell you here. It's kind of dull, but um, So even like a little typo like that, I lose a second and a half, 2 seconds. Looking at my ideal timings, I'm trying to uh, be done with this process at like 35 minutes. And I think let's see if I check my level here. I think I'm way under that actually, which was nice. Because you pretty much have a good solid 12 minutes to finish out the last part of the game. And it's kind of unavoidable. You just have to go around and do stuff, and there's really no a lot of speed gains or efficiency gains. Like um, you just have to do it, and it takes time. So I guess I'm 25 here, so I need like 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 5 more levels. Anyway, we'll hit level 30 here in a second, and what we're going to do is then we're going to heal up and go to our Adventurers Guild, and we'll get a whole bunch of team members who will promptly die, but that's kind of the goal. You basically need a bunch of meat shields for the last fight and for the possession trap. I've run out. This is what I'm telling you about. I'm pretty sure I did lose 2 or 3 minutes here to bad uh, Specter rolls. I mean, I don't know if it's 50-50 or what the odds are to get a Lich versus a Specter, but sometimes I'm casting and it's a struggle to get a Lich. Um, this time it's kind of a struggle to get a Specter, but anyway, probably between luck and just efficiency gains, there's by this point probably close to 3 minutes of time lost. But we are now going to get our team and we're going to go win the game. So basically about 33 minutes in, it takes about 10 minutes to win the game. Um, we hand out items here. It also uses and yeah, about 45 seconds prepping my team here. But away we go. And we just do all the little quests here as fast as possible. We'll go in, we'll get our silver item, and actually we go in and get the crystal sword first. And then we're gonna go get our silver square, I think. Everybody dies when we hit a trap, which frankly is about right. We don't prefer them to be dead at this point anyway. All right, now we just need to get back out of this level. I think I cannot port a cane out of here. I probably should have tested. I think this, you're stuck on level 2 here, but you can jump from 1 to 3, which we'll do here. Anyway, Clearians went well in my other speed runs. This is often a big time waster, but it goes very uneventfully and very quickly, which was nice. It's just one giant maze. There's nothing here to do but run the gauntlet and try not to die on the stasis trap. And we wiggle around through the dark maze. We get our triangle. Now we go find the stone golem. So there was a soul mace. That's not the right item to drain life. You need a Morn Blade or a Soul Blade? I forget what the name is. Probably look that up while I'm talking to you, but Specter mace. Drains a level. Wizards can use it. Well, I think wizards can use it. It's a very special case of who can and can't. The Morn Blade is only usable by the hunter though, and then your hunter might critically hit you. But Morn Blades are only on Manger's Castle, and Specter Mace is on Manger's Castle. And if you're big enough to get there, like you should just win the game because you're not going to save time by trying to get there. And then you may as well just um, if you're strong enough to get there, you're strong enough to take a roll at winning the game. There's just no point. You're not going to get any time savings out of trying to get those weapons. At least as far as I can figure. I mean, there may be a way to do it. Um, most of the bugs that I've been exploiting are relatively bland and minor. If there was some way to get a random item, uh, and then you could probably exploit that to get, eventually a Spectre Mace at level 1. That certainly would speed up the daylights out of this. Um, Likewise, if there was some way to like randomly teleport yourself across to an arbitrary room in the game, that might also speed things up substantially. Um, but without those, without using bugs like that, I'm not sure how to. Some of these other options really represent a true speed up. Um, anyway, here we are in Manger. We walk around with our dead folks. We run away from everything, and our goal is to get. First thing we want to do is get to the red dragons, which are not that far away. They're a forced encounter, and they're very dangerous, even if you're um, a wizard. I mean, there's two of them, and unless they're almost certainly going to attack and breathe before you do. And if they both attack you or both breathe, you can. I got 358 hit points. I will probably survive the first round, um, but none of your team will. So basically, we just possess a bard, make him sing a song, and we could walk past the red dragons. And in terms of mana cost and health cost, it's the fastest thing to do. I don't have restore, like we didn't level to 12 as a magician, so I have to cast, weak healing spells and consume an enormous amount of mana. And it's faster just to possess a bard and make him sing and get past the red dragons. So he'll eventually die, I think, again, which is fine. We'll just repossess him. And here we are on Manger 5. The big thing, you got to flee those 5 storm giants. Those will rip you up if you fail that flee. So that's one of the critical fleas in the game. There's a possession trap. You really just need to possess 3 of your people, put your big guy in the back. I don't know who's possessed here. I just kind of pick one to dispossess. And it works. I guess I guessed correctly. But you got to have your main wizard. He needs to be in that #1 spot as often as possible, because if you get he's the only one that can flee from anything here. And if you fight anything else other than Manger, you're gonna die. There's no hope for you. The fights here are really hard. And even Manger, like, he often does us in here. All right, so here we are about to trigger a few traps. Got a bunch of forced encounters. Get our Specter snare. Interesting that the bard found it even though he was dead. Yeah. So we possess our whole team. I don't bother to heal anybody. Works out okay. We immediately, if we move ourselves to the back, we immediately jump into Mangar. We just can't risk doing anything. We spellbind the Demon Lord. I think that's the best way to go. Notice the breath right off the bat that kills almost everybody. And the thought there is that your Thor, but by the time you're able to act, your Thor will either have been killed or it will have killed at least one thing. And if there is a Demon Lord left, you want him gone. And anyway, Spellbind ends up being the cleanest, clearest way to reduce the enemy numbers and to make sure that you always have something in your special slot. So yeah, that's it. Did it here in about 43 minutes and change. You can kind of browse through some of these guys, see where we were at, because I hate having a ghoul in my party. We removed everyone. Played around a little bit. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm done speedrunning, by the way. There's not a whole lot of more to go here. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.